My name is Lauren McKenzie and I'm the events manager at the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum in Alloway.
Can you tell me what you were doing before lockdown, how things were?
Yeah, work life was great. We had just finished a really successful burn season in January, kind of moving forward into Easter time and into the summer season. So everything kind of looking positive and great for a really busy year. And then obviously lockdown happened in March and kind of upset the apple cart, as they say, and kind of kept us waiting to find out the next thing, find out what's happening, and especially in our industry, it was a big deal for us.
And so, what was the day-to-day like here?
Day-to-day, I'm really busy between meeting clients, meeting suppliers, organising things for Easter, for school holidays. For me, this was my first summer season at the museum, having only just started in the August before. So it was all very new for me as well, but getting to know the ropes and getting to organise things that I hadn't quite done before. So it was busy getting to know things, getting to learn things, and kind of doing things like that.
Okay. So, what did you know about the COVID-19 before the lockdown?
For us, it was just this thing that was happening in China. It was never, definitely never crossed my mind that we were going to be affected by it. But obviously, as it was getting closer and closer to home, you kind of do have this wee thing at the back of your mind thinking, when is it going to hit here and when is it going to affect us? And I think then it all became a bit real for the museum and for events in general.
And a lot of people noticed a change in their social life. So what was yours like before lockdown?
Social life and the life of an events manager, it's a funny one, because when you work in events, it becomes your life, and you kind of work all the time. So kind of socially wise, I was going for like 100 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it was all kind of stripped back. So it was a very, very sudden change and very hard to adapt to as well, for somebody who's normally as fast paced in the industry.
So at the actual lockdown, the initial one, how did things change here?
So the museum, obviously when the lockdown hit, the museum was closed. We worked from home for a brief period just to kind of sort things out, as well as the kind of public events. We did also have private events, so we had a wedding the week of the lockdown, so having to contact them to make cancellations, which was probably the hardest one, especially when it's something so significant in somebody's life. It was never going to be an easy decision, but kind of reaching out to these people and kind of trying to support them where possible when you didn't really know what was happening yourself. So we worked from home for a brief period, and then it was on a furlough for just over 4 months it ended up being.
Okay. And what changed in the day-to-day?
So being in the office to working at home was very different. Having to set up an office for yourself, and all of a sudden you're meeting everybody through Teams or through Zoom calls. That was all new for everybody and different to kind of get used to that side of things, not having the human interaction, even just being in the office or meeting visitors as they're arriving at the museum. So it changed very quickly.
And how did your social life change on that?
For me, I actually just moved into a new house 2 days before the lockdown. So that was obviously, the lockdown allowed me to do decorating and unpacking that I never thought I would get done. But at the same time, I was moving into a house by myself, so I kind of lost all the interaction that you get day to day between friends and family members, but also your colleagues, because at the end of the day, they become more like your friends and family as well, because you spend so much time there. So, yeah.
And how did you feel about the situation?
I think it was, for us, we were just kind of focusing on the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks ahead. So it was always that kind of short-term feeling that it was going to get better quite quickly. And I think that was the kind of main focus, was to help stay positive, was to just look at it short-term and never kind of think about how long it was actually going to last. But if you'd said to me that we would be sitting now in November, kind of more or less under the same circumstances, I would never have believed you back in March. It's definitely been a kind of roller coaster emotions, to say the least.
And So now we were out of the initial lockdown and we're X many weeks, months after that even. How's things changed for you now?
It's changed greatly. I don't think events will be the same for a long time, obviously with the social distancing aspects and the rules and guidance on how many households can meet. So for us, looking at events that aren't going to encourage congregating in a room, but more can encourage people doing to come and enjoy something, but doing it by themselves. So for Halloween, we did a family Halloween trail where they could come in their own family group and still utilise the site and learn about the heritage as well in the village.
And how's your social life changed now?
Again, quite rapidly. You still can't meet indoors. You can only meet in cafes or public places. So that obviously has been quite difficult. When we did reopen, we were working Thursday to Monday and off a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So we were working every weekend, and for me, the majority of my friends are all teachers, so then we work in opposite sides, so I wasn't seeing anyone for quite a while. But now that we're open 7 days, we've got a bit of flexibility there as well, so it's kind of almost getting back to normal.
And what would you hope would happen in the future?
Hopefully, for us, we are kind of full steam ahead to our busiest season in January for Burns. So I'm hoping that we can get to Burns and have a celebration of some sort. It might not be the same as what we're used to, but hopefully it'll be something that we can pull off, that the Bard would have been proud of, and we can do something for that in the near future.